Hello, this is my second vlog for our Old Testament themes storyline assignment. The two themes that I chose to discuss were covenants and idolatry. I believe that scripture is reflective of one major storyline, and this is reflected through the creation, the fall, and redemption, and the two themes that I chose to discuss play into and are part of this major storyline. To begin, I think that covenants fit into the greater storyline because of what they demonstrate about who God is, his character, and then also his relational aspect, which is part of the major storyline. Specifically, covenants also tie into the New Testament and the new covenant that was made. I discussed in the video previous to this about how covenants are reflective of how God is within relationships, what he expects out of them, and what he promises to give. And I think that the greater storyline of the Old Testament is inclusive of God and relationships, because that is a major theme about it, is just the relationship aspect of God wanting to interact with his people, God wanting to walk intimately with his people. That was unfortunately taken away because of the fall, but he is continually keeping up with the covenants that he has established, with the promise of another covenant and the new covenant of Jesus, and then him coming back again. And I think that knowing God's character is major in understanding everything. And part of his character is his dependability, trustworthiness, and consistency, like I mentioned in my first video. And this consistency is seen in the entire storyline, including the beginning in Genesis, in the creation, with his people walking, and then making promises about the flood and never to flood the earth again, and then with Abraham and promising to give him land and generations and a name, and him keeping his word in that, even when his people are sinning and choosing to walk another way and walking away from the Lord, which I believe ties into idolatry and how that also fits into the greater storyline of after the fall. Then sin is entered into the world, which is part of that idolatry, and people choosing to say that other things are God and that Yahweh is not God. And this decision to turn away is consistent and evident throughout the storyline, but it also helps us see who God is because of this, that no matter how many times his people fall away and his people sin and choose other gods and keep worshiping other gods, or just keep sinning in many areas, he still comes back for his people, and he still is there, and he still is dependable to stay consistent to those covenants, and still is pursuing relationship, and he still is pursuing forgiveness to be one with his people. And I think that seeing the Old Testament and the storyline of so much of idolatry and so much of sinning and so much of God's people messing up and God having to punish and condemn and call things out where they need to be called out and fix things where they need to be fixed, and confronting people when they need to be confronted. In the Old Testament, which is very evident, is just greater reflective of his heart for the oneness with his people. I also think that you can see idolatry fit into the greater storyline because of even just the beginning of creation, of people, of Adam and Eve having the intimacy of walking with the Lord one-on-one and seeing the opportunity for something else, and then wanting that even more, and seeing and that having that heart posture of, I want that more than I want God. He is not worthy of my praise. This is worthy of my praise and my attention and where I'm seeking. And if you look at what we've learned through this course, you can see that God is never not in that. God is never not seeing it and absolutely heartbroken, because he knows that even though in our eyes it may look like better, it is not, and that he is worthy to be praised and worthy of our attention and not idols. And he will come and correct and take away that, or he'll be hurt and let his people or us deal with the consequences of all of that because we are not choosing to worship God. I very strongly believe that these two themes are evident of the greater storyline of the Old Testament, of what we have learned through this course, and thank you for watching.